Man, what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man. Jay Willie Silly, man. A.K.A. Mr. Take It Easy. For you in the life easy. But, hey, man, make sure y'all follow my Instagram, man, and Twitch. In the description down below. Everything you know about your boy, Jay. It's in the description down below. If y'all want to go check out all my scary reactions. In the playlist section, man. Y'all go over yonder, man. You know what I'm saying? We got 3 disturbing true stories from people's childhoods. So y'all know, man, you know, your boy Jay had a few experiences. You know what I'm saying? When I was little, bro, I told y'all, bro, the devil, bro, one thing I can say about that nigga down there, man, that nigga don't like me. That nigga been after me ever since birth. Y'all probably don't know, bro. When I was born, bro, my mama told me this. I ain't know, cause I was, you know, baby, bro, you know, newborn. Mom said when I was born into this world, I choked on my own doo-doo. They had to go into a tube, bro, and suck all the doo-doo out that I swallowed. I swallowed my own doo-doo, bro. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I swallowed my own doo-doo. That nigga was trying to kill me ever since birth. God saved me, bro. I didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know I almost died. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So it's, I don't know, man. The devil, man, just really been after me. I remember when I was a child, bro. I was real scared of shadows, bro. I remember just like it was like, I don't know, bro. I was laying down, bro. And I looked on this wall, bro, and I just seen like a human shadow. I don't know what it was. I remember, bro, I was watching. I forgot who we was watching. I forgot what pastor we was watching. It was like in an apartment what pastor we was watching, bro. And, you know what I'm saying? I just looked at my wall, bro, and I seen like a human shadow. Nobody was in the room. I got good memory, y'all. Nobody was in the room, but I just seen a human shadow, human figure. Just right there. You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks ago, even in this room right here, 2 weeks ago. Not 2 weeks ago. Probably like a week ago. Bro, I'm sleeping towards my freaking wall. This way. I swear to God, I kid y'all not, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just hear a freaking loud bang on my freaking bed. Like somebody just bumped on my bed. Like just thumped on my bed. And I wasn't even scared. Now I said, one thing about when you get close to God, when you get close to Jesus, it's like fear doesn't even exist in me no more. I mean, I get scared. Get scared sometimes, but I'm nowhere near as fearful as I was, bro. Bro, I don't know. It happened right after I read the Bible, bro. Like, I swear, I'm telling you, I looked around my bed, tried to see if anything dropped. Nothing dropped. I checked between the beds, checked under the bed. Nothing dropped. Man, I heard like a freaking, like somebody banged on my bed, bro. But I woke up so fast, like, bro, what in the world? I couldn't believe it. Jay did sleep on the whole night. Jay did sleep with that TV on, though. You know what I'm saying? Even wasn't scared though, but Jay slept with that TV on for sure. That TV did not come off. I'm being real with you. I don't care what you talking about. That TV did not come off.
Maybe like 8 years old. My parents had me
stayed on to the break of dawn.
My 2 older siblings are both at least 10 years older than me. I was woken up in the middle of the night to a commotion from downstairs one night. It was my parents. I cracked my door open and heard my parents freaking out about something. I wasn't sure what it was. I went to the stairway and stood at the top, calling down, "Mom, Dad?" My mom came to the bottom of the stairs and said to me, "Go back to bed." I listened without asking any questions. I could tell they were stressed about something though. I was trying to go back to sleep when I heard the front door downstairs slam shut, and then it was dead silent. I presumed they left the house, but I wasn't sure why. Either way, I listened to my mom and went back to sleep. I woke up again to sounds downstairs once more. It was the sound of the front door closing, and then footsteps, but no talking. Naturally, I assumed they were back home and just being quiet so that they wouldn't wake me up. I heard occasional steps and thuds from downstairs. I heard drawers and cabinets being opened and closed, and I thought for sure I heard the fridge opening too.
Like you being robbed.
I thought it was my older brother Chris, who's 10 years older than me. And at the time, he was already driving, so he was going out and coming home late. So him getting home at like 2 a.m. and rummaging the fridge wasn't abnormal at all.
Nah, I feel you though, bro. You know, you just thinking that, you know what I'm saying, nigga, it's just somebody home and stuff like that, brushing it off. Nigga, look here, so, you know, I feel you.
Things I was telling myself, logical explanations as to what I was hearing. Eventually, I heard footsteps coming up the stairs, getting louder and closer until they reached the top, and then made their way first thing to my door.
What?
My door quietly and slowly opened. I didn't sit up or move. I just had my eyes open, facing the door as I was still laying down. There weren't any lights on outside of my room. Whoever was walking around was doing so in the dark, so all I saw was this black mass at my doorway, resembling the shape of someone's head. I said every name starting from Chris to Mom to Dad. Then I just said, "Who's there?" They didn't reply. They just closed the door, and I was left there confused but mildly creeped out. I heard footsteps going downstairs. I was convinced it was my dad now, just coming to check on me after
Nigga, I would have said, Chris, Mom, Dad, who are you? And they would have closed the door like this. Or got out of that bed, Mama, somebody out. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, Chris ain't finna look at you like a creep. Mama ain't finna look at you like a creep. Daddy ain't finna look at you like a creep. That nigga ain't say nothing to you. And close the door just like this. Scream for your life, boy. Scream for your life.
Home, though I wasn't sure why he was ignoring me. I didn't hear anything from downstairs for a while now. I allowed curiosity to get the better of me, and I went downstairs in the dark.
Come on, man.
I kept all the lights off as I was approaching the kitchen.
Jackass.
And I froze at the doorway, noticing a tall figure standing right in the middle of the kitchen. I said, "Dad?" assuming it was him just based off the size of this person. A deep voice said, "Go back upstairs." I ran back up the stairs to my room and closed the door and jumped under the covers.
Yeah, you being robbed.
All I was thinking was, why did my dad's voice sound like that?
Nigga, ain't
The
your
reality
dad,
of a
dumb little
stranger
boy?
being in the house didn't dawn on my innocent little mind.
Nigga, you dumb little mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're a kid. Miss me with that, man. You know what I'm saying? You know the difference between daddy voice and not daddy voice. You know what I'm saying? You know how your dad act. You know how mommy act. You know how Chris act. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. I guess I was just a different child. When I was a child, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro, I had a lot of common sense, boy. I think I was just a different little child. I was a smart child. I was very swift, boy. I ain't gonna lie.
Not until a little later, when I heard the front door opening and a commotion from downstairs again. The voices of my parents. I went to the top of the stairway again, and they were shocked to see I was still awake. I asked what happened. They told me that Chris had a little accident, but that he was gonna be fine.
Oh, man.
I found out months later that he had gotten into a car accident driving in a condition that he shouldn't have been driving in. My parents got a call from the hospital, and so they rushed to see him first thing, leaving me to sleep.
So
I asked my dad if he had come in my room before, and that was when I learned that they had been gone for hours. My mom started freaking out, yelling at my dad because he had neglected to lock the door when they rushed out of the
nigga
house.
ain't locked the door?
Me telling my parents about the person at my bedroom door and in the kitchen caused my dad to search the house with his gun, and my mom to call the police. The last thing I really remember was being asked by a police officer to give my story. My parents tell me that they felt like morons having to explain to the cops that they left me alone and left the door unlocked. I don't think anything of value was stolen.
I'm like, so hold on, this nigga, you let this nigga alone. What type of parents is this? You know what I'm saying? It's a little kid, right? You let this nigga alone at the crib by himself at night, and then you didn't lock the door?
Even though whoever broke into the house clearly didn't have intentions of harming me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Having a complete stranger in your house is
I ain't
already...
gonna say that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool for him not to do that. You know what I'm saying? Cause bro, it's some robbers, bro. Cause bro was blatantly just there to rob you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, he could have harmed you. He could have did way more harm. He wasn't trying to hurt you, bro. You gotta realize, bro, it's some people out here that's just blatantly like, for me, I don't care. If you come in my house, that's the first thing that I'm thinking about, and you trying to harm me. So, you know, but it's people out here like literally, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I ain't trying to hurt you type stuff, just trying to rob you. You feel me? That's all it was. So this all bro was. That's why he say he went to go upstairs, you know what I'm saying? He just trying to rob, trying to get what he trying to get and go back, you know what I'm saying? He ain't trying to hurt nobody for real. So, you know, props to the nigga not hurting the little kid, though, you know what I'm saying? Even though you breaking into somebody's house wrong, bro, you know, props to the nigga not hurting the kid, though. But that's still scary for a kid to see, though, you know what I'm saying? Like,
terrifying ordeal. Now imagine going through that at 8 years old.
They left you at home at 8? Parents would never, no cappers, was staying at home when I was like, what, 12? 8 years old? No, my man
It was around 2013 to 2014. My brother was about 7 or 8 at the time, and we had just moved into a new house to be closer to school and for cheaper rents. It was a pretty nice house, all things considered. It even had a cozy fireplace for the winter. Anyway, my brother was really into Batman and had this Batman car that if a button was pressed made noises and lit up. It was basically his favorite toy, so he played with it often. Then one afternoon, he came inside from playing out back and told us he found something. So obviously my mom and I asked what it was. It was a picture of a young boy in the form of one of those tags you get if your parents paid extra for school photos. The picture was dirty and full of wear and tear, even to the point you couldn't see the year it was taken. We thought that, okay, some parent lost their kid's picture, no big deal.
In your
Then
backyard?
my brother said something that confused me. "That's Buddy," he said.
Who?
And I looked at him with a facial expression that basically asked him to repeat himself. And he did. He pointed at the picture and said, "This is Buddy, he's my friend." I slowly nodded my head as if I knew who he was talking about. The main reason this confused me is because my brother didn't make friends easily, and he had no friends that I knew of. And this Buddy only came up once we had moved.
Buddy.
I shrugged it off and figured he'd made friends with the next door neighbors or something. And
Buddy.
he somehow got the school picture as like a keepsake. That night around 3 a.m., when everyone in the house...
First of all, I would have been questioning a whole lot of things. Who you is hanging around nigga named Buddy? You know what I'm saying? Nigga, what? Did you just say this nigga name is Buddy? Off the rip, red flags right there. What right parent in their right mind named their child Buddy? There's something wrong with that woman, and there's something wrong with that child. Off the rip. Nigga named Buddy. Gotta watch out for that nigga immediately. I say immediately. What nigga named Buddy? Would you name your kid Buddy? Buddy! How you doing, buddy? Ooh, that sound like a serial killer name. Do it. Oh, God. That sound like Ted Bundy. You know what I'm saying? Serial killers always got weird names. Jeffrey Dahmer. Buddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, God. It's something about them. I'm telling you about them weird name folk. I'm telling you. You ever hear a nigga named Buddy? Ron. Ron.
House was asleep. I woke up to my brother talking. So naturally annoyed, I walked into his room to tell him to go to bed or else he'd wake up our parents. It was weird because when I walked into his room, he was sitting up straight in his bed as if he was actually talking to someone, and not just to himself or his toys. I told him to go to bed, and I went to bed myself.
Weird.
A couple days later, my mom was talking to me about my brother.
I would say, bro, I would say, Mom, bro, I just walked in the little room, cuz. I ain't gonna lie, little bro was just talking to us. Sometimes walked in the room, bro, just sitting up, just like he talking to somebody, Mom. Something wrong with baby bro. You know what I'm saying? And they go take him to a mental hospital or something. You remember when he said he knew a nigga named Buddy? You remember that, Mama? You know what I'm saying? Like, real. Walk up in the middle of your night, you talking to yourself loud, too. I hear you talking. I come in your room, bro, what's all this talking? You think you talking to the toys? You think bro's just, you know what I'm saying, having fun with the toys? You know, yeah, with the toys like a normal little kid. Buddy sitting straight up in his room. Probably talking to Buddy.
If I'd seen him get up at night, and I said no. I woke up to him talking a few nights ago, but that was it. Why? And she said he had been acting weird. But as usual, we both shrugged it off as him being a kid. Now in my room, my bed was right across from my door, meaning if I turned over, I could see into the hallway right in front of me. One night, I woke up to use the bathroom.
I'm just saying, how y'all sleep with y'all doors open? Like, how do you do that? Like, yeah, bro, I cannot sleep my door open. I can't. Like, I just feel like somebody watching me when I'm sleeping. Like, I cannot. How do you do that? Bro, my door's got to be locked, bro. My door got to be locked. My door got to be closed. I can't have no cracks in the door. I'm pushing it open, and somebody in cracks just creep. You know what I'm saying? I'm pushing them cracks open. I don't want the cracks in the doors. Freaks me out. I feel like just something just looking at me like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It ain't nobody looking at me, but nigga, my imagination says it is. You feel me? I got a door open. I think somebody just looking at me just like that. Yeah, I can't do it. Doors closed. Everything closed. Everything locked immediately. Look at it. It's got a door wide open.
Since I myself was and still am very afraid of the dark, I left the hallway light on, knowing my dad would turn it off once he got up and I'd probably be asleep by then. I was laying in my bed facing my door when a sudden noise made me jump. It was my brother's damn Batman car. It was making noises. So I got up to tell my brother that he shouldn't be up this late playing. But when I got into his room, he was asleep in his bed with the toy across the room on the floor still making noise. I walked over to it to turn it off, I was finally able to go back to sleep, but the following days, my brother would not shut up about Buddy. It was honestly starting to freak me out, so I went over to the neighbors' houses to the right and left of us. One house didn't even have kids, and the other was vacant. This started to worry me, but my dad said it was probably just an imaginary...
Man, shut up, man, with all this imaginary, bro. What are you talking about? You don't got to deal with it, though, Pops. I got to deal with it. I got to deal with the little crazy little boy. Now I would have told Pops, listen, you ain't got to deal with it, though. You sleeping with mama and dad. You sleeping with mommy. You all cozy with mommy. I'm out here. I'm hearing this little demonic little boy talking about somebody. I'm waking up in the middle of the night, going into the nigga room. That nigga sitting up like he talking to somebody, nigga. You don't see what I see, Pop. I would have told the nigga straight, nigga, you don't see what I see. You hear what I hear? Nigga, just another time, nigga, just yesterday, nigga. I got my door open, nigga, sleeping towards the door, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And the little Batman car start going up by itself, Pop. You know what I mean? Nigga, chill with all this imagination, nigga. That nigga hanging around the demonic, nigga. Matter of fact, he's demonic. You know what I'm saying? I hate that junk, man. Man, miss me all this imaginary, all this. I know what I seen, and I know I seen that little demonic nigga do. I know I seen that little freaking Batman car run on his own, play on his own. And I know I walked into that little nigga room, and that little nigga is talking to somebody, postured up. I know what I seen, Pop. I know what I seen.
Friend he came up with.
I would have said, shut up.
I went along with it since I couldn't think of any other solution. But almost every night, one of us, my mom, dad, or sister, would say we heard my brother's toy making noise and had to go into the room and turn it off.
Man, break that toy, man.
I explained that I had to do it as well, and once again brought up my brother talking to someone one night. My dad swore up and down that the toy was probably motion activated, but when we bought it, there was no advertisement for motion activation.
Shut up.
My sister and I were so unnerved by it that we started to sleep in my room together, which I'm glad we did, or else I'd probably write this off as a bad dream. My sister and I were talking, trying to keep each other calm and in good spirits, until we heard the dreaded noise of my brother's toy. We both looked toward my open door and into my brother's room, which was right across mine into his room.
I'll be like, throw the little nigga away. Get this little nigga out the house. No, I said, get this little nigga. I don't care if y'all brother. Now get this little nigga out the house. This little nigga a demon. Get this little nigga out the house. Mama, get rid of this little nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's something with this little nigga we don't know, man. Get rid of him. I don't care if you, mama. Mama, get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Throw this little nigga away, man. Nigga told me he talking something buddy or something. Get the nigga out of my house. You know what I'm saying? This little nigga out of my house, man.
Turned into those of horror as we saw our brother's toy rolling past the door all on its own. We screamed and ran to our parents' room, and they got mad at our brother, saying it was a cruel joke to play on us.
Bro, shut up.
As we were already freaked out, what he said sent chills down my spine. It wasn't me, Buddy wanted to play. That night, the toy went into the trash, batteries taken out and all. My sister and I were relieved until the next day, my brother had the toy again, and my parents accused him of getting it out of the trash, to which he responded, Buddy got it for me.
Man.
The toy was broken into small pieces and thrown away for the final time. My brother was obviously upset, but our parents got him a new Batman figurine and everything was fine. It wasn't until about a week later, when we all felt that everything was okay now, and that Buddy was gone. My mom was cooking chicken breasts on the countertop George Foreman grill, and she had come into the living room to ask us something. And then we all jumped as we heard a crash in the kitchen.
Bro.
We went in there to see the George Foreman grill halfway across the kitchen, as if it had been thrown. My mom swore it was nowhere near the edge, and my dad had no explanations.
Bro, there's some paranormal stuff.
Nothing happened afterwards, and we moved out about a year later.
No cap.
But to this day, I wonder if my brother's imaginary friend Buddy wasn't imaginary.
Like a real nigga type stuff, you feel me? Dang, boy. I'm like, who is this Buddy cat? I told y'all Buddy weird, right? If you hear a nigga named Buddy, cuz run straight up. Buddy? What you mean, Buddy?
10. We moved to a new house in a different town. I was entering a new elementary school as a 5th grader, which is always tough. Starting out, it was a bit awkward, as all the kids already knew each other, as I was just some random kid entering the scene. In my elementary school, you were made to sit with the kids from your class during lunch, and I remember it being really awkward the first few days at school. Kids are extremely judgmental around that age, and I was judged as the new kid, so it made making new friends more difficult. But those initial days of being the new kid on the block, I actually met a few of the kids on the block. One of the kids was Dan, who went to a private school, so we went to different schools.
Dan.
We met while I was biking.
Pay attention to Dan. Dan, that's another weird name, Dan. No right mother in their mind named their kids Dan. You ever heard a nigga named Dan? I've never met a nigga. What's your name, bud? What's up with you, twin? What's your name? My name's Dan. Have you ever met a nigga named Dan? Have you ever met a nigga named Buddy? Have you ever met a nigga named Jeffrey? Have you ever met a nigga named Ted? You know what I'm saying? It's just names that stand out. You met a nigga named Jalen, hey. I met a nigga named, you met a nigga named Jalen Thata, hey. Come on, mother is in her right mind. You know what I mean? I ain't never met a nigga named Ted. I never met a nigga, never met a nigga named Jeffrey. I never met a nigga named Dan. And I never met a nigga named Buddy.
Down the street, and he
nigga freak me out about that name. Your name Dan, though? All right, bro. Nice meeting you, twin. You know what I'm saying? Let me meet a nigga named Dan. You want Dan? Nice meeting you, twin. Hey, man. Nice talking to you. I gotta go handle some business right quick. Nice meet, Dan.
I had just moved into the house on the corner. We started hanging out from there. Then a few days later,
pay attention to Dan.
Alex actually rang the bell one day and asked my parents for me.
Have you ever met a nigga named Alex? I've never met a nigga named Alex.
I was confused when my parents called me to the door and introduced me to him. He said he lived down the block and wanted to know if I liked video games. Of course, I said yes, and he invited me over to his house to play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Dan.
I didn't have that game, but I really wanted it, so I said yes.
Alex seemed more like a...
We walked to his house, which was literally the corner house at the opposite end of the block.
Nigga, that's that? Jackass?
Right away, I felt like the house looked less nice than every other house on the block. It was the same size as most, but it just looked run down and not taken care of. There was no grass. The front yard was just two big patches of dirt with a walkway cutting through them to the front door. We entered the house, and it was equally disheveled inside. It was like a house of hoarders. Boxes and junk everywhere in every room.
You go in there?
He led us to the basement, which smelled like 15 cats lived down there. Weirdly enough, there didn't seem to be any pets. The basement was a pigsty. It may have been the messiest room in the house. We sat on this brown leather couch placed right in front of the TV. He had a GameCube and PS2. He booted up San Andreas and we played the 2-player mode. And it was—
You want to be in that stank? You like being in funk? I know one thing about me, bro. I ain't finna come in here, bro. I'm like, bro, you gotta clean up. I tell niggas straight up, bro, you gotta clean up, bro. I don't like being in no nasty place environment, bro. I don't know, bro. I just can't do that, y'all. I can't be in no nasty place and environment. I remember one time my one partners, I ain't gonna say his name, went over that nigga house. Nigga room was dirty, bro. We cleaned up that room. I had to clean out that room. I'm like, bro, I can't stay in here, bro. I don't like nasty, bro. I ain't gonna cap my bathroom clean. I clean my bathroom up, my room clean. I like feeling comfortable in my room. I don't feel comfortable all this yuck. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no nasty nigga. I can't deal with that nastiness. So I would tell the nigga, hey, look, you know, the house look kind of towed down a little, you know what I'm saying? We could deal with the outside being towed down. You feel what I'm saying? But the inside being towed down, we can't deal with that. Me and you can't hang out, you feel what I'm saying? Until you clean up there right here. Or you come over my crib or something. You know what I mean? But me coming over here, nigga, that's dead. You wanted me to play San Andreas over here? Better clean the house. You know what I'm saying? Better get the things up. I ain't coming on. I don't deal with junk. I don't deal with funk.
It was actually fun, and in that moment, I thought I was gonna like Alex and would want to be friends with him.
You probably stank.
Eventually, I wanted to go home, and so I said I gotta go. And he seemed really disappointed, like he wanted to keep hanging out. We'd already been playing for like 2 hours though, so I just wanted to go home. He followed me halfway home until I said see you later, basically saying in a friendly way, alright, go away now. That was the first warning sign that Alex was a wacko, but I didn't find it concerning just yet. The next day, Alex
nigga followed you home, nigga walked you home and stuff like that.
Rang the doorbell again and asked my parents if I could come play. This time we played GameCube in my room for about an hour. Not to sound mean or judgmental, but I was starting to not really like him just because I felt like he was weird and he made me uncomfortable with how physically close he got to me. The next day after school, he rang the bell again. I wasn't really in the mood and told my mom to tell him I don't feel good, so he left. I would rather hang out with Dan, honestly, because I just liked him more. That same day, I rode my bike up to Dan's house to see if he could hang out. He was down, so we started riding our bikes further up the block.
Dan normal?
And this was a mistake, because as we passed Alex's house, he came outside onto his front stoop as if he were waiting by the window. It was weird, but it was also awkward because I just had my mom tell him that I was sick before. As we passed, I told Dan that I hung out with that kid, and that I felt like he was slightly weird. Dan was shocked that I hung out with him, saying that whole family is crazy.
Whoa.
I found out from Dan that Alex was actually a couple years older than me. He was 12. From this point, I decided to steer clear of him.
And yeah, bro, I can't cap, bro. Like, for real, bro. Like, I told y'all, it's just something about certain people, bro. Bro, I can spot, bro. It's something about me, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro. I can spot a weird dude from a mile away, but it don't take me getting to know you to realize you're weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can just really just tell, like, it's a different type of gift a nigga have. I can tell you weird. I told y'all, all you really gotta do is just sit back and watch a nigga. Some of y'all gotta just learn how to shut up. Sometimes just shut up, y'all. Shut up and just watch a nigga. Watch how weird that nigga is. You gonna start, man, that nigga weird, cuz. You know what I'm saying? You know how many niggas I cut off, bro, without explanation? I'm weird to a whole lot of weird niggas. That don't even make sense to it. That don't even make sense to do it. I'm weird to a whole lot of weird niggas. I cut a lot of niggas off without explanation. Cause nigga, I sit back and watch you just like this. Nigga ain't know I be watching. Like I said, I was working with a nigga. I probably told this story a million times, but I was working with a nigga. Then my last job I had, bro. So I ain't worked for a long time, bro. So the last job I had, though. You know what I mean? Used to kick it with a nigga every day at work. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never, every time I had a job, bro, you know what I'm saying? Never talked like that. You know what I mean? I ain't care about making work friends, but I'm just here trying to get my money and go on, clock out. But you know, bro seemed cool at first. Bro seemed like mano y mano. Bro seemed like a nigga that's just like me type stuff, you feel me? But, you know, starting to be around, bro, a little more, I started seeing some traits I didn't like. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I started seeing some traits I didn't like. You feel me? So one day, you know, I just didn't want to make it seem like, oh, am I tripping? And am I being judgmental? Like, am I tripping? You feel me? So, you know, like I said, bro, because what made me really look at him a weird way, bro, I noticed how, you know, the girl that he always talking to, you know, I started talking to him, bro, try to intervene and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's when I kind of peeped it, but I ain't saying nothing. I peeped it, you feel me, and fell back, bro, and, you know, stopped talking to her and let him talk to her. So, you know, one day, you know, I was trying to see nigga if I was really, and then another thing that he called me Stevie Jr. You know, he said, hey, Stevie Jr. Like I'm trying to be like him or something. Cause I'm talking to all the females. The female was talking to me, he ain't like that though. He thinking I'm trying to be like him cause I'm talking to females, the fees. You feel me? So he called me Stevie Jr. That's strike two. He ain't know I was peeping. He ain't know I wasn't, like I dabbed him up, I laughed it off and stuff like that. But I dabbed it up, laughed, talking about Stevie Jr. nigga. Like I'm trying to be like him or something. You know what I mean? So I was like, nigga, let me go and just sit back and watch this nigga. This nigga seem weird to me. Sit back and watch this nigga. He came over, dapped me up, and this and that, the third. I already got my eyes on him. I'm already feeling iffy about you. So I just stand back, bro. You know, sit back and watch him. So he leaned across a cardboard. Cause like I said, we used to work at where we used to work at, bro. We nigga ain't do no work. It was so much free time, bro. So my nigga just talk and just goof off, bro. So you know, the girl that he was talking to, the girl that he intervened, the girl that he stayed talking to was talking to another dude. So you know, he dapped me up, and then he leaned on the cardboard box. So I stepped back and I'm looking at him. I'm like, what this nigga looking at? So nigga, I'm looking at him. I ain't saying nothing to him. I'm looking at him. He don't even know I'm looking at him too, y'all. I'm looking at him. He looking at the girl just talking to the nigga. It was so crazy. I'm just looking at the nigga. In my mind, I'm like, why's he finna go talk to him? I said, this nigga go talk to him. Why's he finna go intervene, cop block on this nigga? Guess what that nigga did? That nigga intervened, went between him and her, started talking to her. Like, oh yeah, that's a weird nigga. I get rid of this nigga. That's the type of nigga that'll slime you out about a female. That's the type of female. That's the type of nigga that kill you about a female. You know what I'm saying? Ever since that day, On God, that nigga ain't know why I ain't cut him off. The nigga tried to talk to me the next day. Hey, Jay, he thought everything was cool. He ain't know I was watching him. He ain't know that I was like just watching him. You feel me? Peeping it. You feel me? Try to talk to me the next day. Hey, Jay. Man, I did just like that, y'all. He said, hey, Jay. Man, when I mean I act like that, man, we ain't know. That nigga look like. Ever since that day, I ain't say a word to that nigga. I'm weird to that weird nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm weird to a whole lot of weird niggas. I don't feel like I gotta give you the explanation why I cut you off. I know why I cut you off. Because nigga, you weird.
He was 12.
I peeped it.
From this point, I decided
just
to
shut
steer
up, y'all.
clear
Shut
of
up
him.
and just observe.
The next weekend, Alex came to our door again asking for me.
Bro, it is weird.
I told my mom before this already to tell him I'm not home if he came back, so she did that. But late that night, I woke up to my window completely open and a cool breeze blowing into the room.
What?
It was a chilly September night, so I most definitely left the window closed originally.
This nigga in your room.
Waking up to an unexpected breeze made me question who could have done that. Then I felt something poke my foot and I screamed. I looked at the foot of my bed and saw Alex. He told me to be quiet, it's just him. Before I could even ask what he was doing in my room, he explained that his parents were fighting and he wanted to sleep with me. He climbed through my window. I was in shock. I told him to get out. He pleaded with me to let him sleep in bed with me. Again, I told him to get out. Watching him turn and climb out of my window was a disturbing scene. I closed the window and locked it, and then went straight to my parents to wake them up and tell them. They couldn't believe it. The next day, my parents both went down the block to talk to Alex's parents, and when they came back, they said it didn't go well. Alex's crazy mom screamed and laughed in my parents' faces, taking no accountability for her son's actions. I'm sure my parents didn't want to get police involved because Alex was just a kid. But however many nights later, I woke up to knocks at my window. I had my blinds closed, but I knew for a fact it was Alex.
Bro, don't even look at me.
I didn't answer. The knocks went on and on for like 5 minutes. I even heard an attempt at opening the window. I was actually scared. I remember my heart racing. Eventually, of course, the knock stopped. I went to tell my parents, and they told me to just ignore it. I think they weren't as threatened because, like I said before...
Yeah, it ain't happening to them, though. You know what I'm saying? That way ain't threatened because it ain't happening to them. You cool, though. Tell me, ignore. What you mean ignore, bro? You got a little weird nigga, bro, knocking on my door, on my window, bro. This weird nigga was in my... Bro, imagine that, y'all. Imagine a nigga opening y'all window, coming in y'all room, and, bro...
me to just ignore it.
Ignore it?
I think they weren't as threatened because, like I said before, Alex was just a kid. It was probably a few days later when Dan and I, along with another kid I made friends with from school, were biking from my house down the block, and when we passed Alex's house, I saw him run to the window as we passed, and he just watched. I told my friends about what happened, and they found it hilarious and fucked up. My other friend made a comment about how he sounds like someone who would live in a gross house like that. That night, for the final time, I woke up to a sound in my room. It was the sound of my window being shattered. I screamed like a girl as I saw Alex climbing through the window, through the closed blinds. I ran to my parents' room and woke them up. By this point, Alex was already back outside. My dad went outside and chased him all the way back to his house, with Alex making it back inside his house before my dad could catch up to him. My dad pounded on the door until Alex's parents opened up, and my dad must have said something right, because he somehow managed to convince Alex's parents to pay for the window if he didn't involve the police. They ended up paying whatever it cost to fix the window, and I never heard from Alex again. Though I did see him once or twice in front of his house the next couple of years while in the car passing his house. That family eventually ended up moving somewhere else, thankfully. I think there's a chance Alex was looking to do something crazy, like murder me or at the very least attack me, just because he saw me hanging with other kids when I didn't want to be his friend. I mean, what else would he do after shattering my window with something and climbing inside?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm scared to wonder what kind of person Alex grew up to be.
That's crazy right there, bro. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, that's on some friend request type, like, yeah, unfriended, whatever, bro. That's great. Boy, dang, boy. Yeah, cuz I'm glad you say, boy, that nigga, like, niggas don't believe in killer kids? Niggas don't believe in killer kids, man. I'm talking about, man, I did stories about kids, man, 13, 14 years old, murderers. I'm talking about slap murderers. I'm telling you, boy. Talking about he just a kid. Like, kids ain't out here killing kids, man. That nigga busted your man, boy. Man, hey, God, that junk crazy, man. Make sure I hit the subscribe button. Tell me like, that's crazy.